Welcome back to a new insane criminal file. Tonight, we dive into the life of a woman who became one of America's most infamous serial killers.
For us true crime lovers, some stories just don't get old, they linger, they haunt, and they demand another look.
And this one is not the exception. How far can a woman go when driven by revenge?
I did the most horrendous crime in the whole wide world.
Or what she believed was revenge? Can a lifetime of pain justify the violence that followed? Could the wounds of the past explain a killing spree that shocked the world? This is a case that echoes through history, not because of the number of victims, but because of the brutality, the spiral, and the tragedy that shaped her life from the beginning. And a killing spree that turned the highways of Florida into hunting grounds. Was she born evil or built that way? This is the story of Aileen Carol Wuornos and how she became America's most vicious female serial killer. Oh, you might be tired of hearing this, but before we dig in, I upload true crime breakdowns once or twice a week. So talking about that, do your neighbor a favor and hit that subscribe button.
Aileen Carol Pittman was born on the 29th of February, 1956 in Rochester, Michigan. She was a leap year baby, but there was nothing lucky about her childhood. Her mother, Diane Wournos, was just 14 years old when she married Aileen's biological father, Leodale Pittman, a violent, abusive criminal with a long history of mental illness. When Aileen was only a few months old, her father was arrested for the kidnapping and assault of a 7-year-old girl. He was convicted, diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic, and eventually hanged himself in prison in 1969. Aileen never met him. Her mother, overwhelmed, unstable, and barely an adult herself, abandoned Aileen and her brother Keith in 1960. She simply disappeared. The children were left with their grandparents, Lori and Britta Wournos, in Troy, Michigan. But this wasn't a safe haven, not even close. The Wournos household was chaotic, alcoholic, and violent. Her grandfather, Lori, was a strict, controlling man known to be physically and verbally abusive. Aileen later claimed she was beaten and sexually assaulted in that home, beginning as early as age 8. Her brother Keith suffered similar abuse. Aileen and Keith bonded deeply. They were the only people in the world who protected each other, but Aileen's behavior started to spiral early. By age 11, she was smoking, drinking, sneaking out, and allegedly engaging in sexual acts with boys her age in exchange for food, cigarettes, or rides. Locals began calling her the trailer park prostitute. That label followed her for the rest of her life. School didn't go any better. She was bullied for her looks, her clothes, her smell, and her reputation. Teachers later described her as wild, angry, and desperate for attention. At 14, Aileen was raped, allegedly by a friend of her grandfather. She gave birth to a baby boy in 1971. He was immediately placed for adoption. Aileen was not allowed to hold him. After the pregnancy, Aileen's grandmother died and her grandfather kicked her out of the house. At 15, she was living in the woods near her home, sleeping in abandoned cars, relying on prostitution just to survive. She dropped out of school by the 9th grade. No education, no guidance, no support system. Just pure survival. By her mid-teens, Aileen began hitchhiking across the country. Michigan, Colorado, Florida, Louisiana. Wherever the road took her. Her life became a cycle of sleeping under bridges, trading sex for shelter, petty crimes, aggressive outbursts, constant drinking. She was arrested multiple times for disorderly conduct, DUI, illegal weapon possession, and prostitution. But everything changed in 1976 when she hitchhiked to Florida and met Louis Gratz-Fell, a wealthy 69-year-old yacht club president. Aileen was 20. They married. But within weeks, she was arrested for assaulting a man with a pool cue. She hit her husband with his own cane, filed for divorce, and went back to the road. This was the theme of Aileen's life. Any chance for stability was immediately destroyed, usually by her own violence. In 1986, inside a Daytona gay bar called the Zodiac, Aileen met Tyria, Ty Moore, a hotel maid. They became inseparable immediately.
She was a great person. I did fall in love.
Ty was quiet, reserved, and structured, everything Aileen wasn't. Aileen was volatile, impulsive, and fiercely emotional. Everything Ty had never known, but the bond was real. And for the first time in her life, Aileen felt she had someone to love, protect, and provide for. Aileen became the breadwinner, earning money through sex work while Ty maintained their small apartments or motel rooms. The more desperate the finances became, the more dangerous Aileen's lifestyle grew.
I was on the road from 16 to 20. I'm hitchhiking and I'm hooking, running into a lot of situations. After the rapes, that's messed up in the head, man.
What they didn't know was that the pressures building around them were about to snap. By the end of 1989, Aileen Wuornos was only in her early 30s, but she looked decades older. Life on the road had carved itself into her face. The cold nights, the beatings, the drinking, the constant fear, and the violence she both suffered and caused. She was worn down to the bone, and everyone who crossed her path could see it. Her criminal record had evolved from a list to a stack: disorderly conduct, auto theft, forgery, armed robbery, firing a gun inside a moving car, and an endless rotation of solicitation charges. But something else was happening beneath the surface, something far more alarming. Aileen was becoming increasingly paranoid, increasingly hostile, and increasingly convinced that every man she met was an enemy waiting to strike. And according to her later claims, she believed she had been assaulted by multiple clients. Allegations impossible to fully verify, but emotionally powerful enough to completely warp her worldview.
To me, this world is nothing but evil, and all of us are full of evil one way or another.
Around this same time, the one person she cared about, her girlfriend, Tyria Moore, was pressuring her to bring in more money. The streets weren't paying enough. The danger wasn't slowing down. And Aileen felt like she was the only one holding their world together. And like most of the stories we cover around here, everything had to come to breaking point. In 1989, Aileen's brother Keith, the only person she ever loved unconditionally, died of esophageal cancer. His death shattered her completely. She received a small life insurance payout, and for a brief moment, it felt like relief. She spent it impulsively: a new car, booze, motel rooms for herself and Tyria, trying to fill holes that had been carved into her since childhood. But the money evaporated, the alcohol got heavier, the nights got longer, and the streets got meaner. And as everything around her collapsed, emotionally, financially, psychologically, Aileen's internal pressure cooker finally hit maximum heat. Whether she snapped or whether this was always inside of her, just waiting for a trigger, no one can say with absolute certainty. But what is certain is this: in December of 1989, the killings began. The 1st of December 1989, Volusia County, Aileen was picked up by Richard Mallory, a 51-year-old electronics store owner with a troubled past of his own, including a history of sexual violence. Mallory drove them into a secluded wooded area. What happened next is disputed. Aileen claimed Mallory assaulted her. Investigators argued she killed him during an attempted robbery. What is certain is this: Mallory was found shot 4 times with a .22 caliber pistol. His abandoned car was discovered days later. His body wasn't found for 2 weeks, already decomposing. This killing marked the beginning of a pattern. Older men, traveling alone, shot multiple times. Their vehicles dumped along highways. Whether Mallory was self-defense or murder, that depends on who you ask, but the violence was only beginning. Throughout 1990, bodies began appearing across Florida. David Spears, a construction worker, found nude by a highway, shot 6 times. Charles Dick Carscadon, a part-time rodeo worker, shot 9 times. Peter Seams, a retired merchant seaman. His body was never found, but Aileen and Ty were seen crashing his car, then fleeing the scene. This would be, without a question, a huge mistake that would help police trace them both. Troy Burris, a sausage salesman, found shot twice, left in the woods. Charles Humphreys, a retired Air Force major, state child abuse investigator, found still fully clothed, unusual for the pattern, but shot multiple times. Walter Gino Antonio, a trucker and former police reservist, shot 4 times, left naked. This was the moment Florida law enforcement realized the horrifying truth. These weren't isolated murders. These weren't accidents. This was a pattern. One killer targeting highway travelers, moving systematically across counties. America had its rarest category of killer, a female serial predator. Aileen wasn't what you would call a careful killer, not even close. Her crimes were chaotic, sloppy, almost self-sabotaging, as if a part of her didn't care whether she got caught or not. She left scenes a mess, ignored basic precautions, and then made one of the worst mistakes imaginable. She started pawning her victims' belongings for quick cash, sometimes using aliases and sometimes her own name, but as it was required by law, she had to leave a fingerprint of her thumb. Each pawn ticket was like a breadcrumb she left behind, practically begging investigators to come find her. And they did. With the portraits from the time they crashed Peter's vehicle, the fingerprints from pawn shops, and Aileen's extensive criminal record. In January 1991, police finally tracked Aileen and her girlfriend to the last resort, a rundown biker bar in Daytona Beach. Aileen walked in like it was any other night. She had no idea that undercover cops were already inside watching her, waiting for the right moment. When they moved in, she didn't fight, she didn't run. She just shrugged, like she had been expecting this.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, that's it. I ain't identification. I ain't got no man. Let me get my identification. I ain't got no identification. Let me see my What's going on, girl?
I don't know what's going on.
What are they talking about a warrant?
Honey, you're probably one of these little undercover suckers that's doing some kind of and I don't know what's going on and...
Who are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I don't know what's going on. I have no idea.
What's going on either?
Neither do I. So what the hell? You want to tell me?
You tell me.
Tell me. I don't know.
Aileen was taken into custody and Officer Joyner tried to get a confession out of her while on the back of the police vehicle. But the real twist wasn't her arrest. It came after. Police tracked down Tyria more in Pennsylvania, terrified and desperate. And detectives knew exactly how to break her. They offered her a deal, full immunity, if she convinced Aileen to confess. It was the ultimate betrayal. Ty agreed instantly. She called Aileen from a hotel room, crying, pretending she was about to be arrested. She begged Aileen to save her. Aileen, who had survived abandonment, abuse, homelessness, and violence her entire life, could not handle losing the one person she believed truly loved her.
Hi. Yes. Yes.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, I had to call you early because I didn't know if you were going to miss it today or what.
I don't... What the hell's going on, Lee? They've called. They've been up to my parents again. They've got my sister now asking her questions. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Huh. What are they asking your sister questions for?
I don't know. Lee, they're coming after me. I know they are. They've got to. Why are they asking so many questions then?
Honey, listen. Do what you gotta do, okay?
I'm gonna have to because I'm like going to go to jail for something that you did. This isn't fair. My family is a nervous wreck up there. My mom has been calling me all the time. She doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Okay. Do what you gotta do, okay? All right?
What?
I'm not gonna let you go to jail.
You evidently don't love me anymore. You don't trust me or anything. I mean, you're going to let me get in trouble for something that I didn't do.
I said I'm not. Listen, quit crying.
I can't help it. I'm scared shitless.
I know.
I don't know whether I should keep on living or if I should...
No, Ty.
What if they don't believe me?
Ty, listen.
What?
I'm not going to let you go to jail or anything. I have to confess myself.
Okay. Yes. Why now did you do this? Why did you do this?
Listen, Ty.
What?
I'm probably everything to you.
Yes.
I love you. If I have to confess everything just to keep you from getting in trouble, I will.
Okay.
Don't worry, okay?
Okay. We'll do it now. Get it over with.
Right this very moment.
Yes. Get it over with.
All right. Okay? Okay.
You can call me back later.
All right.
All right. Okay, bye.
And on that phone call, recorded by police, her voice cracked. She took a deep breath and she confessed, not to one murder, not to two, but to all of them. She said she killed every man in self-defense, repeating it again and again, like she needed herself to believe it. With her confession and the evidence from the pawn shops, her conviction was almost guaranteed.
Like a condom.
So it was
AIDS.
self-defense.
Yeah.
Lee, the first one, perhaps, the second maybe, but
So what?
7 times?
So what?
But the betrayal by Tad, that was the wound that never healed. Aileen would later say, "I still miss her, I still love her." And in many ways, that was the final chapter of Aileen Wuornos before the trial even began.
I still miss her and I still love her. And
By the time Aileen Wuornos stepped into a Florida courtroom in 1992, she was no longer just a suspect. She was a media spectacle. A storm of headlines, camera crews, and sensationalized tabloid frenzy. A female serial killer was already rare. A female serial killer who targeted men on highways, that was unheard of, and America was watching. Aileen entered the courtroom looking worn down, unpredictable, and angry at the world, a combination the media devoured. The prosecution laid out their case with surgical precision, ballistic matches, stolen vehicles, pawn shop fingerprints, items belonging to victims found in her possession. And most damning, her own recorded confession. They argued Aileen wasn't killing in self-defense at all. They said she was a predator, hunting lonely men for money, vehicles, and survival. Aileen's defense tried to counter with her trauma. Decades of abuse, violence, abandonment, and untreated mental illness. They insisted she snapped under the weight of a lifetime spent fighting off men. But the prosecution had something stronger, evidence, lots of it. And if Aileen still had any hope left by the time her ex-girlfriend testified, it died right there.
Ma'am, would you tell us your full name, please?
Tyra Aileen Moore,
Ms. Moore, how old are you?
29,
Tell us where you're living presently in the state
Pennsylvania.
and who you live with.
My sister.
Was there a time that you lived in the state of Florida in the Daytona Beach area?
Yes.
I'd like to ask you if you know an Aileen Carol Wuornos, also known as Lee.
Yes, I do.
Did you know that individual under any other names?
Yes, I did.
The name Lahovic, one of the names you knew her as?
Yes.
You know her under the name Brody?
Yes.
Did you ever know her to use the name Cammie Marsh Green?
Yes.
How was it that you knew this woman that you described as Aileen Carol Wuornos with the aliases that you told us about?
Objection to aliases. Objection overruled. Ask the question again.
How is it that you came to know her?
I met her in a bar.
And did there come a point in time in your life that you and she formed a relationship?
Yes, we did.
How long did that relationship last?
About 4.5 years.
And could you describe the relationship to us in regards to your living arrangements, your working arrangements, things of that nature?
Well, we lived as lovers. And I worked quite a bit, and she worked as a prostitute.
During the time that you were living with the defendant, the type of employment that you primarily engaged in was what?
Hotel work.
Did you ever engage in prostitution?
No.
Objection overruled. Go ahead.
You earned a salary?
Yes.
Went to work on a daily basis when you could find employment?
Yes.
Did she tell you anything about the car in relationship to the man she had shot?
I believe she did at one point.
Was it your understanding, based upon what she was telling you, that it had been the man that had gotten shot whose car you guys had been in that day?
Yes, it was.
Did she tell you anything about why she shot the man?
No.
Now, during that evening, as
Ty told the court she had no idea Aileen was killing men. She said she was shocked, scared, and betrayed. But the truth was clear. Ty had flipped, she had saved herself, and Aileen knew it. Aileen stared at her the entire time, seething. The betrayal still fresh, still raw, still unforgivable. After several days of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict. guilty. But something changed in Aileen the moment those words were read. It was like a switch flipped. The fight drained out of her. The anger, the defiance.
Aileen and Carol Wuornos be electrocuted.
Aileen seemed less interested in saving her life and more determined to control the ending of it. Aileen was told she had the right to appeal, that she could keep fighting, keep dragging the case through the courts, keep trying to save her own life. But instead of doing any of that, she made a decision that stunned even her own attorneys. She stood up in court and pleaded no contest. With those two words, she effectively sealed her fate. No appeal, no further defense, just a straight path to death row while the execution clock quietly began ticking. And Aileen responded with one of the most chilling outbursts in courtroom history.
That's going to be handled by you or the
Your wife and kids get raped.
I would ask that you would appoint the public office.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender's office to handle the appeal. There's one other thing that I want to say that I think needs to be said.
I knew I was raped. You weren't nothing but a bunch of stump.
Therefore, these proceedings are now
Putting
completed.
somebody who was raped. Yeah.
Do you still want the chair?
There's no sense in having me tormented for the rest of my life when I don't deserve to be tormented. I did what anybody else would do. And so there's only clemency or the chair. You make your pick, people, because that's the only way it's going to be.
As the years dragged on, something in her began to rot from the inside. It all started to eat her alive, and slowly, the fight drained out of her. Aileen suddenly announced that she wanted to come clean. No more self-defense claims, no more stories of violent clients, no more insisting she was the victim. In her last interviews, she looked straight into the camera and said the killings were cold-blooded.
I have to come clean and cleanse my spirit in the name of Jesus Christ. So I have to come clean and tell the world the lies that went on through my mouth. I mean, now prosecutors and cops.
And that you killed the 7 men.
Huh?
That you killed those men in cold blood.
Yeah, and I got to come clean that I killed those 7 men in first-degree murder and robbery. As they said, they had it right. Serial killer. Not so much like thrill kill. I was into the robbing biz. I mean, you know, serial killers are in this thrill killing jazz. I was into the robbing, just and eliminate a witness. But still, then again, I got a number, so it's serial killer. But I'm coming clean before I go in that execution chamber and be executed. That I killed them.
And so
like
when
this.
you met them, from the beginning, did you know that you were going to kill them? When they picked you up in their cars?
I pretty much had them selected that they were going to die.
But when you're saying that there was no self-defense, so there was no self-defense?
No, there was no self-defense. I'm being really straight up about everything. There's no self-defense. I'm really sorry what happened about everything. I eventually got tiring. In the end, I carried the gun for protection, but then I got where I was getting a real problem. Our rent was due, $1,200 behind. Tyra was doing a lot of beer drinking and stuff. She wanted to go out all the time, so she was burning up the money I was making. I was making good, about $200-300 a day, sometimes
Did she, and
150.
did she know what you were doing?
Oh yeah, Ty always knew everything. I'm really sorry about everything I've done. I missed Ty. I lost Tyra over this. And then the people that lost their loved ones and everything. I really think first about the people that lost their loved ones and then Ty second. Because I have to put them in first on this whole thing. I'm really sorry for, them losing their loved ones, man. I know the feeling.
And what about with Richard Mallory? Because you gave that testimony with Richard Mallory.
Yeah, Richard Mallory was not self-defense. Richard Mallory I killed him I needed his wheels to move the stuff, and he had the right amount of money I needed to move into the apartment, so.
But what about the testimony that you gave in court about?
Oh, that's just, like I was saying.
About the Visine and...
Oh, I was just doing a lying biz. That was just my lying gig, try to beat the system.
Really? So that was really all, none of it was true? Because in court you gave such a graphic description of what had happened with Richard Mallory.
Yeah, after sitting around thinking how I could drum up a story, you know.
That was pretty convincing.
Was it? That's sad.
Well, I thought so.
God, that's sad. Well,
And it's not that you just decided that you wanted to die and you wanted to get it over and done with, that you changed your story.
no. The reason is it's serious. There's no way, and nobody should go in that execution chamber dying on a hope for a lie and even by the second make it out of this thing on a lie.
But I heard, you know, that you just couldn't stand being on death row after 12 years.
Nick, this is the last time I'm going to say it. You have to kill Aileen Wuornos because she'll kill again.
She spoke of conspiracies, government torture, sonic pressure, and claimed the guards were trying to drive her crazy. Whether this was genuine mental illness or the stress of death row eating away at her sanity, no one could say for sure. But every year, Aileen slipped further into darkness.
How many times you gotta kill me? You know, I mean, this is bullshit. They don't need to be doing this.
Governor Jeb Bush signs death warrants scheduling the executions. 44-year-old Aileen Wuornos is one of the nation's first known female serial killers. She will be executed October 9th for the murders of 6 men. Wournos has dropped all of her appeals.
I'm trying to save taxpayers' money. You people don't care. You want to press on with a jury and everything else and try to press the public. And all I want to do is go back to prison, wait for the chair, and get the hell off this planet that's full of evil and your corruption in these courtrooms.
You know, I was just wondering how you're going to be, you know, at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Are you prepared?
I'm prepared. I'm all right. I'm all right with it.
And how?
I'm all right with it, but like I said, remember and let them know that I know that the cops knew who I was. After Richard Mallory died, I left prints everywhere, and they covered it up. And let me kill the rest of those guys to turn me into a serial killer.
Whether it was clarity, collapse, confession, or something far more complicated, no one really knows. But in those final hours, Aileen Wuornos, the runaway, the outcast, the drifter, the killer, seemed to be searching for one last thing she had never known in life. Peace.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Hey, I was tortured at BCI. They had the intercom on in the room, and they kept lying that it wasn't on, and they were using sonic pressure on my head since 1997.
Sonic pressure.
And every time I was trying to write something, I think they had some kind of eye in the cell, I'm not sure, but every time I started writing something, it went up higher. So I'm thinking that probably had the TV rigged. The TV or the mirror, something was rigged. They got a huge satellite on the compound. After they put the huge satellite on the compound, it could have been either rigged to the TV set or the mirror or something, because the electrician, when he put the mirror on the wall, he said, doesn't that look like a computer? The back of it, and he stuck it to the wall.
And do you think, did that affect your mind, do you think?
Huh?
Did that affect your mind in some way, the sonic?
It was crushing my head, and they were using sonic pressure continually. Then when I had 3 meetings with Miss Villacorta on it, every meeting I had, she increased the pressure of the volume of the comm, increased the harassment on the floor, increased the trays being inedible, just increased every bit of my complaints and trashed all grievances. They're trying to make it look like I was crazy at all times, rig up the room with torture. If I said anything about I think their whole plan was to try to make it look like I was totally crazy, and so nobody would believe anything I had to say about anything, and then drive me there if they could. I suffered so bad. I was really struggling to survive. Had a lot of trays that were attempted murder and everything. I had to wash all my food off. And then one day I didn't wash my food off, and I was sick for 3 weeks, almost died.
But you're okay now.
I'm okay. I'm okay. God is going to be there. Jesus Christ is going to be there. All the angels and everything.
And, you know, whatever's on the beyond, I think it's going to be more like Star Trek, beaming me up into a space vehicle, man. Then I move on, recolonize to another planet or whatever. But it's whatever's the beyond. I know it's going to be good because I didn't do anything as wrong as they said. I did the right thing. And I saved a lot of people's butts from getting hurt and raped and killed, too.
So are you saying that you killed in self-defense or in cold blood? What do you, because you've changed your story. I'm just trying to...
What are you talking about? Change story on what?
No, about whether it was self-defense or not.
I'm not going to say it, you know, I'm not going to get in depth about my cases, Nick. I'm on my way to the chamber, nothing stopping it. You can believe it or you don't have to believe it. That's up to you, man. Put a big question mark on your film.
What more is there to say about the cops? What more do you want to say about the cops?
A lot of stuff. Did you know that they were surveilling me before I killed? And then I knew it? And that it was covered up? Did you know there was helicopters dropping down from the sky, deputy sheriff, with decoys picking me up 4 or 5 months before my arrest? It was covered up?
But nonetheless...
Nobody ever asked me these questions.
Whether the cops were following you or not, Aileen.
Oh, whether the cops are following me or not, Aileen,
okay,
what?
Let's say the cops were following you.
Yeah.
Let's say they were following you and they did everything that you're saying they did. Nonetheless, you killed 7 men.
Yes, you did.
And I'm asking you, what got you to kill the 7 men?
And I'm telling you because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
Not everybody is killing 7 people. So there must have been something in you that was getting you to do that.
You are lost, Nick.
On the 9th of October 2002, at 9:47 a.m., Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection. Her final words were bizarre, poetic, and haunting. The last puzzle piece in a life consumed by tragedy and violence. I will be back. Like Independence Day with Jesus, the 6th of June, like the movie Big Mothership and all, I will be back. And just like that. A life defined by pain, rage, abandonment, and bloodshed came to an end. But her legend, her tragedy, her mystery that never died. What's left behind is a single, uncomfortable question. What exactly was Aileen Wuornos? Because depending on who you ask, you get a different answer entirely. She was a sadistic serial killer, a predator hiding behind claims of self-defense, targeting vulnerable men and executing them for money. To others, she was a broken woman, shaped by violence from the moment she was born, abandoned by her parents, tortured by her grandparents, abused by men her entire life, and pushed to the point where she no longer saw a difference between danger and survival. And the truth is messy. It always is. Aileen Wuornos lived a life that almost guaranteed tragedy, a childhood with no love, a teenagehood spent being used, exploited, and homeless, an adulthood built on violence, addiction, fear, and constant survival mode. Did that cause her to kill? No one can say for sure. But did it shape the monster she eventually became? Absolutely. Her killing spree was brutal, chaotic, and fueled by rage that had been simmering for decades. Rage at men, at life, at a world that had failed her over and over again. But in the end, she wasn't calculating, she wasn't even careful. She spiraled, she imploded, and she left a trail of bodies behind her. Some see a murderer, some see a victim, most see both. And maybe that's the most unsettling part. Aileen Wuornos didn't appear out of nowhere. She was built piece by piece by trauma, neglect, and violence. But she also made choices, deadly ones. Choices that took the lives of innocent men who just happened to cross her path on the wrong night. So what do we make of her? A cautionary tale, a warning about what unchecked trauma can create, or proof that sometimes evil can grow from the most unexpected places? That's up to you. Let me know in the comments below. Until the next insane criminal file, stay curious, stay safe, and good night. Thanks for watching.